Hi everybody, how are you? So, say hi baby Bo. Today's video is gonna be a little bit different. I'm not promoting anything or giving any advice on any products. I just have had a lot of people asking to hear my labor story, and it was a 43-hour labor total. So I thought I would just make a quick little video about it. See how we got this little cute guy out. More like big guy. So I'll try to make it as short as possible because it is 43 hours long. So I will just start from the beginning. So it starts Christmas morning. My stepkids were here. I have a 6-year-old stepson and a 4-year-old stepdaughter, and they were here for Christmas break. So Christmas morning, my stepson wakes everybody up at 4:30 in the morning. So it was an early start. Keep in mind I was due the 31st. And so we all get up 4:30 a.m. open our presents. So the day started out fun but exhausting already. And of course I'm ready to pop at any time because this was a big guy. So I was very uncomfortable. So yeah, that's how our morning started. We were up all day because the kids were up all day, excited to play with their toys, all of that fun Christmas stuff. So at about midnight that night, I had fallen asleep probably about 20-30 minutes before midnight, and I wake up because I had felt something kind of leak out of me. So I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if my water broke. So I wake Doug up, who was sleeping on the couch, and I'm like, something weird just happened, and I'm kind of having contractions. I'm not sure what it was. So we call our friends, Rob and Sabrina. We love you guys. They came all the way down here. They live about 40 minutes from us. And because we had just moved down south more from where we originally were. And so they came down they got here like 1 o'clock in the morning. So they stayed with the kids. We go to the hospital and they confirmed that I was in early labor. So they were like, well, most of the time they'd send you home. But they kept me because my contractions were really close together for early labor, like 5 minutes apart. You're so cute. And so they kept me. So about 8 o'clock the next morning, they did the shift change. They came in, checked me. I hadn't really dilated any further. I was still about 2 centimeters dilated. So they were like, well, you can probably go home or stay here. We can't give you an epidural or anything because you're not dilated enough. My contractions were still really close together, so I was still in a lot of pain. So we stayed for a little bit longer. They gave me something called Stadol, which I did not like. It made me very anxious because you feel very like drugged out. And so I was really scared and asking Doug to sit with me and trying to avoid falling asleep because I was scared. But I fell asleep. I relaxed. It was okay. I woke back up. I still hadn't dilated anymore, so they sent us home. So we got home at like 3 in the afternoon, and my contractions didn't go away. They were still horrible. Doug, obviously, the kids were here still, so Doug had to kind of stay with the kids, and I didn't want to be in front of them contracting because I was in a lot of pain, so I kind of stayed in our bedroom. But Doug came and checked on me a lot. And then at around 6 p.m. that night, so this is the night of the 26th, my contractions seemed way better. So I ate some food. I slept for like an hour, which was the most I'd slept since that morning before the kids woke us up. And I sat out on the couch with them for a little bit and I was okay. Then that night, about probably around the same time, like 11, the same things happened. I woke up because a little bit of water had leaked out of me. And again, when I went to the hospital that first time, they told me my water hadn't broke and they didn't see a tear, but it had to have, otherwise my contractions wouldn't have started, and it just didn't make sense that there wasn't a tear. So so I was like, well, now my contractions are like 10 to 15 minutes apart. They'd slowed down a lot and they were in like normal early term labor like patterns, if that makes sense. And so they were really bad though. I didn't sleep at all that night, obviously. And then probably like 3 in the morning, I had some more fluid leak out and my contractions got even worse. And At this point, they were like 4 or 5 minutes apart. I started using a contraction timer because I knew it was like getting close. And they say, you know, to have it be consistent for like 2 hours of them being like 5 minutes apart, I think it was. And so we called our friends Rob and Sabrina again at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and they came over. They got here at like 7 maybe, and by this time my contractions were like 3 minutes apart. And we live 40 minutes from the hospital, by the way. So we get in the car. I'm in so much pain, especially in the car, because I can't move around. I can't do anything. So Doug is flying down the highway. He was flashing his lights at people. I mean, it was like a movie. It was crazy. And so he's trying to get us there as fast as he can. I'm in horrible pain. And we're so thankful again that Rob and Sabrina came and watched the kids for us. And so this is the morning of the 27th. So we get there, they confirm that I'm in active labor, but I still was not far enough dilated to get an epidural. So they were like, are you okay? So they were like, do you want Stadol again? And at first I didn't want it because of the way it made me feel last time and how anxious I was. And they were like, you can't fight it, you just have to relax. And if you relax, you might actually dilate further. So I was like, all right, well, I'll try it. And I did like half a dose or whatever. And it actually helped a lot. So I was like, okay, I'll take the full dose. So I took the full dose. I didn't fight it. I went right to sleep. It was awesome. I slept for like an hour or two. And when I woke up, I was 5 centimeters dilated, which was fantastic. So I woke up, my contractions were really close together. And they were like, okay, we're ready to break your water now. So they broke my water. And that was absolutely horrible. My contractions did not stop. Like most of the time, you know, contractions go up and then down and then up and then down. And mine did not do that. Even my nurse, who had worked there for a really long time, done tons of labor and deliveries, was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like your contractions aren't stopping. So I literally just had one whole contraction for like an hour. The reason they couldn't give me my epidural yet is because they have to give you 2 bags of fluid before they can. So I'm just sitting there waiting for my bags of fluid, contracting consistently for like an hour. They didn't stop. It was the worst thing that I've ever experienced. But also I'm really proud of myself for doing that too. Because I didn't get any breaks. It was just one long contraction. And so, are you eating Mom's hand? So finally the guy came in, the anesthesiologist, he gave me my epidural. He was hilarious. He was just like a southern guy in work boots who was in there, and he was like, tell me when you're not contracting so I can give you your epidural. I'm like, I'm always contracting. It's not stopping, so just give it to me. And so he did awesome. He did it really well. He only had to go in once. It was amazing. And as soon as he put it in, I started relaxing. So I'm very thankful for him and for how well he did. And what are you doing? You say hi to everybody? And so after that, it was really smooth sailing from there. I had my epidural, I slept, I got to take a nap, I scrolled Instagram, I kind of just hung out and waited. So then they came in at like 6 o'clock at night and they were like, you're 10 centimeters dilated. So do you feel like you need to push? Because usually you can start to feel pressure when you're that far. And I was like, no, I don't feel anything. So they're like, okay, well, we'll just wait. So I was fully dilated and they were just kind of waiting for me to feel pressure. And I never really felt any. So finally they came in and they're like, well, we called the doctor and so we're gonna start pushing. And I was like, okay. But it was kind of hard because I didn't feel that pressure, so I wasn't quite sure if I was pushing right or what I was doing, because obviously the epidural, you can't feel anything down there, and most women do feel some sort of pressure to push, and I didn't feel anything, so I was nervous that I wasn't doing it right, or like, I don't know, I was just kind of nervous about it. But my nurse was awesome. She was like, you're doing great, you're doing amazing, you're pushing correctly, so that helped me a lot. Of course, Doug was right by my side helping me too. And so I pushed for about an hour, and this little guy came out at 8:40 p.m. after an hour of pushing, and he wasn't crying. And so I asked, I was like, why is he not crying? Is he okay? You know, because most babies come out crying. And I didn't find this out until a couple days later because no one told me until Doug told me when I asked him again why he wasn't crying. Apparently the cord was wrapped around his neck. So he, wasn't breathing for a good couple seconds, but they didn't tell me that because they didn't want to scare me, and he seemed okay. So they put him on the scale, and he was 10 pounds and 2 ounces. They couldn't believe that I pushed him out, but I did. Yay! Oh, he's okay. He's okay, honey. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, he came out 10 pounds, 2 ounces, 22 inches long, basically the size of a 3-month-old. I only got a 2nd-degree tear, which is not bad for a 10-pound baby. Yeah, I know. It's okay. Yeah, that is pretty much it. The kids came and saw him that night because they had to fly out that morning. And again, thank you, Rob and Sabrina. Doug called and he got changed the names on the flight. So Rob, our friend, flew them back to their mom's house for us that next day, and we were so thankful. And we were thankful that they were able to come and meet their baby brother before they left. So that's my labor story. It was fun. It was long, and it was all so worth it, and I'm just super thankful for this baby. So if you guys have any questions about it, or just, want to hear more about it, text me, DM me, whatever. And thank you guys for listening.